So we've been talking about the 5 love languages, and we've been talking about the 5 love languages and discipline. And today we're going to talk about the 5 love languages and learning. So think about emotional maturity for a moment. What comes to mind? Maybe you envision your toddler throwing a temper tantrum, or your adolescent stomping off to their room. Or maybe you have a good thought like your grade school child who sits next to the new student in the lunchroom because they know that they need a friend at that time. See, each age has an age-appropriate and healthy emotional maturity level. And as a child grows, his ability to learn increases because of several factors, and the most important being their emotional maturity. So a child grows and their emotional maturity grows as well. But sometimes parents don't realize that a child can have stunted emotional maturity. As parents, we have the greatest effect on our child's emotional growth at every age, from the time they're just a tiny infant right through their adolescent and teen years. As parents, we have the greatest influence on their emotional maturity and how that grows. And as parents, that gives us the opportunity and the ability to prime our child's learning pump by continually filling it with unconditional love. And that is where the 5 love languages come in. If you recall, the 5 love languages are physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, and acts of service. And as we give our children intellectual stimulation, we cause them to grow in emotional maturity. And we do this through that unconditional love using the 5 love languages. See, as we love our children with the 5 love languages, and we speak our child's primary love language that I hope that you've had a chance to kind of figure out using the quizzes and the observations and the different methods we've talked about through the weeks. As you continually love your child through these 5 love languages, we are also meeting their physical and intellectual needs, as well as keeping that emotional love tank filled. And while we're loving our child this way, we're also teaching and training them and helping to prepare them to learn. They will be better ready to learn when their emotional love tank is filled because their emotional maturity also grows. So an interesting quote that I read from the book that I've been using as we've been going through this study says, "A child who is starved for love and acceptance from his parents will have little motivation to accept the challenges of learning in the early years or later in school." What a great reminder to never underestimate the power of our love for our children. Our love is so powerful, and it is so essential to our children's growth. See, when we're intentional and we pay attention, we often notice what would otherwise go unnoticed. Sometimes we get so busy. We get so busy meeting our little children's physical needs or meeting our own physical needs, or we get so busy with all those goals and tasks and things we need to accomplish, especially these days with the times we're going through. I know a lot of kids are doing online learning or homeschooling for the first time or unexpectedly get quarantined and come home. And there's just so many new things to be thinking about and accomplishing that we can get distracted and we can lose sight of what it's all about. And God has called us to love our children. They are a gift to us from God. So if we just take that moment and slow down and notice what would otherwise go unnoticed, we'll find opportunities to love our children in just the most mundane and just tasks that we would otherwise be doing, that we could be doing in a way that expresses love unconditionally to our children. And when we speak the 5 love languages to our children, we help them grow their emotional maturity. And when they start to grow emotionally, everything else follows. Their self-esteem grows. Their emotional security gets better. They feel more secure in their environment and in their home. Their ability to cope with stress and all the change we're all facing, when they're emotionally mature, they handle that so much better. Their ability to socialize is better when they're emotionally mature. And they're ready to receive the discipline, as we've been talking about the last couple weeks. And when our children are emotionally mature, they're also more ready to learn. So I encourage you this week to keep on loving your children, because that love that you're pouring into your children just grows leaps and bounds within them. And it is just incredible to watch as they learn and grow and just become the people that God has created them to be. So have a great week and just love on those kiddos.